YouTube, what is up, Wallet Weekends? We got a lot to talk about, man. We got prior investments we got to liquidate, my plan with LTDs moving forward, as well as, the process of selling my team before TVPs go away. What card, not really what cards I'm selling, but why I'm selling, give you the process and when I'm going to buy back, because we do kind of have a set date for that. But first, before we get into all that stuff, I just need to talk about actively making investments for the next 5 or 6 days before TVPs do leave. It's going to be super dry. Seriously, there is going to be nothing we are going to be buying except for LTDs that are super cheap. We'll talk about Lenny, we'll talk about Zach Cunningham, but when it comes to actual investments and making moves in the market, we are going to be doing I'd say the word nothing really until TVPs go away. So yes, it's going to be very dry. 5 to 6 days. I'm not going to be on the game much, not going to be on the market much, except for buying LTDs on my companion app. But yes, just wanted to get that out there. We're not going to be doing much over the next 4 or 5 days. But now let's liquidate our investments we made earlier this week. First up, AKA 94s. You see some AKA packs in the background. AKA 94s right now, they're hovering at around 155, 160, 150. You can't really lazy sell them. That price for 94 overall is a little bit too low compared to the actual AKA prices being sold for. But what you should be doing, and you should have bought these guys really for 135k or less on Monday, is you should be doing the Patrick Surtain 2 set, the PS2 set, because right now he is going for around 825 to 850k. If you want the card for your team, you could also eliminate the tax just by keeping the card. But as long as you bought the 94s for 135k or less, you should be doing the set for 675, and if you sell for 825, 850, that would be where your profit is. You could try to hold out and try to get the individual 94 AKA markets to go up, but honestly, I would just recommend you just do the PS2 set and either keep the card for your team if you want it and you eliminate that tax, or sell it back and you make 125k profit after tax for the 5 94 AKs you bought. Next up is GG2 94s. This one's a little bit less complicated. Now, I was not on this morning, so I actually couldn't see. I was watching Outer Banks late last night, so I woke up late. 94 overalls, though, you should have sold this morning. It really was the thing where if you were going to buy them, you kind of had to liquidate them right when the new content came out. I don't know what they were going for. I don't know what the unfiltered price is. Right now, it's around 150k, so if you bought for 140 or less, you would technically be losing, I guess, a little bit, but that's because you would have waited, and you weren't supposed to do that with the 94 GG2 cards. It was always you got to sell them when they first came out. Unfortunately, the set champions that came out this week aren't that good, so the hype wasn't really there. But if you want to, a more efficient way to liquidate your 94 GG2 cards is if you want any of the new 97 overall champions, just do their set and keep the card, because that eliminates the tax of it. But yeah, that's GG2 investments. Let's move on to LTDs. We're going to run through and show the prices of all the cards still in my binder. You see, I got a lot of Eddie Jacksons. I'll have a lot of Dre Greenlaws in my binder. My initial plan for my LTDs going into, the new TVP, the non-TVP era, which is starting next Thursday. I was always trying to liquidate everything by Sunday night going into the Thursday, but I've changed my mind a little bit because I'm like, wait, why should I sell a lot of these LTDs when we know from past TVP removals that LTD cards are the ones that actually go up on Thursday? People go to buy back their teams when TVPs get removed. LTDs go up. So here's my plan. I am still liquidating and trying to go into the TVP being removed. I'm still liquidating all LTDs that are above, I would say, 600 and 650k. And just the reason being is they hold a little bit more. There's a little bit more risk when holding those cards, like Justin Jefferson for 980k, like Garrett Wilson 650, I think Nick Bosa, Sauce Gardner. They're just a little bit too expensive, and I'm not really trying to hold them through or going into 98 overalls and Team of the Year and all that. But with the cheaper LTDs, the 97 overalls we've been kind of buying frequently, that's been, and it's going to be like Zach Cunningham, Dre Greenlaw, Eddie Jackson, the 97 Pat Mahomes that went up to 500k, although you probably should have sold him. But if you have any cheaper LTDs, like Marcus Williams, for example, that we're showing on the screen, my plan is kind of just to hold them through the TVP being removed and hope that when people go to buy back their teams prematurely, in the week before Team of the Year, a lot of these cheaper LTDs that are still going to be the best cards in the game, because we're only going to get, it's going to be 4 or 6 98 overalls on that Thursday. These 97 overalls will still be the best cards in the game, and I'm just hoping their price goes up when people go to re-buy their team. So that's the plan. Any expensive LTDs, I'm still looking to sell. And this is 97 overalls, for example. 96 overalls, I would sell all of them because Reduxes are probably coming out. But any cheaper LTDs, I am looking to hold on to them and look to see if they go up when TVPs get removed. Speaking of LTDs though, Leonard Fournette, right now going for 550k, which is quite expensive for a running back, but I get it. He's probably the best running back in the game, or one of like a top 3 running back, tied for the highest speed with Bo Jackson, and he's just cheaper. Lenny, I will not be buying unless he is less than like 420k. He's a running back. I've been burned. I don't think there's been a very successful running back investment the entire year. So Leonard Fournette, he would have to be less than 415, 410k for me to buy him. And then Zach Cunningham, and it's good to see he is already at around 430, 440k. He will undoubtedly be 410, 405k probably by tomorrow afternoon. And a middle linebacker is a great position to invest in because there are 4 in your lineup. You could also use an outside linebacker for overall merchants like me. So Zach Cunningham, I would say under 410k. Just like Dre Greenlaw, just like Eddie Jackson, they're just such a low-risk investment, and these new 97 LTDs have consistently gone from 400k into the 500s. Patrick Mahomes did that. Vita Vea did that. Geno Smith did that. So the trend has been, you know, the cheaper 97 overall LTDs that are 400k typically get into the high 400s, low 500s if you just wait a week. But now getting into the topic of selling my team and why I'm selling my team, just to tell you guys, it is your decision. I am not telling you to sell your team. I'm not telling you to hold your team. It's all up to you. I'm just going to tell you why I am selling my team and my motives, and then you can make a decision for yourself. As you see, the beautiful 99 offense and 99 defense in the background. Haven't really made any upgrades this past week because I'm selling it pretty soon. And when I'm selling it is going to be Sunday evening. That really doesn't matter. I'm only doing it Sunday evening because I need my team to stream this entire weekend. But you guys can really, if you're going to sell your team, the sooner the better. Your team will have more value right now than it will probably Tuesday and Wednesday when it becomes more of a mainstream topic of if you should sell your team. And, you know, if you don't want to, you don't want to. If you do, you do. It's really up to you. Why am I selling my team? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I followed history, I follow facts, and that is TVPs get removed. The training market will inevitably crash, cut in half at minimum, because that is what happened last time. Fortunately, you know, TVPs did come back 2 or 3 days later, but I'm not expecting that to be the same this time around. But yeah, once the training market does crash, usually the other markets do follow. It just takes some time for the markets to adjust. But the difference between last time and this time is we have a set date and a huge content drop that is going to affect the entire market, because we're going to be getting a 98 overall, probably the best player at each position, and that is Team of the Year March 9th. And that really is when I'm going to be going to buy back my team, at least after March 9th. Now, normally I would be buying back a lot of old players for my team, but this time I'm going to be buying probably a lot of the new Team of the Year, so I won't really have to worry about the prices of old players. But those 98 overall Team of the Years, typically Team of the Year is a very cheap, they're cheap-ish for their overall, because they're sold, the way you get them is through training, and if training crashes because TVPs get removed, well, the value of Team of the Year cards, since you just do a standalone reroll for them, at least in the past Maddens, it'll make Team of the Year's 98 overalls relatively cheap, somewhere around the 400 and 500k mark if training is around 1.5 per. So when you take a 98 overall at every single position and put them at a price tag of 400 to 500k, it's going to affect some things. So yeah, that's really the motives behind it. It's mainly just Team of the Year. I think it's gonna reset the entire market. It's gonna be hard for 97 overalls to be going for 600, 700, 800k and hold their price when the new fresh 98 overalls are only going for 400 to 500k. So yes, selling my team this Sunday. You guys can do whatever if you plan on selling your team, and then I am not buying back really anybody other than LTDs, I would say, until at least March 9th, and then I will make a judgment decision on, you know, when exactly I'm just going to buy my team back and all that. But that's all for this video. Comment if you have any questions, like if you have enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, peace.